Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Footy Show daily. Been giving you little daily bites of what's going on in football, certainly around the whole COVID-19 situation. There's been quite a few developments today on this. Just when football seemed like it was taking that major step to come back, it feels like today with just a couple of bits of news that it may have took a major step backwards. Ligue is done and dusted. The government has stepped in France and said there will be no football this season during the summer and will not be back till probably September. That's huge, isn't it? One of the top five leagues.
The first top five league to cancel it, big thing, big decision. Obviously PSG with 12 points clear in that league as well, so odds on favourites to win it. And it's been cancelled, Ligue 1 and Ligue 2. So that's done. So I'm just wondering who's going to follow suit. We know that Serie A have now one of their ministers has come out and said there's no guarantee we're going to resume. Haven't said that they were thinking of it for June the 2nd.
Spain, there's been nothing. There's been no real appetite really because their lockdown has been a lot stricter and so there's been no appetite from them. We know the Dutch league had already been called. The Belgian league is somewhat up in the air because it seemed like it finished, but at least seems now it's more like in mothballs. Like they're talking of having a vote early in May to decide. So what's going on? And I know UEFA are looking for justification from these leagues as well, which is mad, isn't it? What's your justification, mate? See all those people who have died? That's our justification. So it all seems like this could be one of the first major steps. Someone like France, and with the power of someone like PSG, and the power of having what's behind PSG, I feel like that can sort of be a big. Could be the big start of maybe a couple of leagues in Europe.
It could be. I mean, the thing with that is the government have took the step.
Yeah, of course,
again, like the Dutch government did, wasn't necessarily...
No, but what I mean by that is that the fact that they don't really seem like they've got any say in it. PSG have got no say in this. With that power means that a lot of other governments might just go, you know what, we're not asked about what you think should be happening. We're putting our foot. Whereas in this country, it feels like, certainly when the Premier League was shut down, the Premier League were waiting for the government to make a decision, and the government were like, we don't know where we stand here legally. And then God bless him, Mikel Arteta made the decision for us. So
no, well, that's right, isn't it? Arteta was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, in terms of getting the games cancelled. They wanted to play those games that weekend, and that happened, and then we stopped playing, and we're doing it again, aren't we? Everything I'm hearing, everything we're reading points towards the Premier League coming back. We've seen Arsenal, West Ham and Brighton, I think it is, are training again, albeit doing social distancing and everything. We've seen Spurs in the park with a couple of players here and there. Marino's
but they're open again, though.
Their training ground's back open, so they're doing that. One of the government ministers yesterday said he'd been speaking with the Premier League. They want it back in June. They're talking to television channels. What's going to be free to air to watch them, and yet you've got the situation today, which is this is a major thing today that France have come out and said that's it, it's done. I don't know whether, I mean, you mentioned something before off air when we were chatting, and it was like the more leagues that go down,
the better for the Premier League.
The Premier League is all eyes on us. All eyes on us. And that to me is scandalous.
What's happening at the moment, though, is that I think is a reflection of how the whole thing has been done here. Is that in other countries, I genuinely feel like they're taking it more seriously. Whereas here, I just don't feel like we're getting portrayed like we're taking this. Like, don't get me wrong, there's measures in place. I'm not talking about that. But like in other countries like Spain, like the lockdown is like, you can't go outside. No. You can't exercise. Whereas here, it's like, oh yeah, Greg's is opening back up this week, and there's queues outside B&Q, and you know, you go to Tesco and you've got like the staff coming up right up to you and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, the countries there's like Italy and France and those countries, they're like, there's zero tolerance to that. In this country, it's like, well, yeah, if you want to go out, you can go out. Just do us a favour, don't sit on the grass. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't feel like, here it doesn't feel like anyone's actually taking the lead. And now we're seeing that with the Premier League. It's a bit like, go ahead, start up again. Whatever happens, you sort it out though. Not like, we're thinking France, but, you know, France clearly have gone, there's not going to be any football. And I just wonder whether, now, like you've just said there, I wonder now whether Spain will go and Italy will go, well, you know what? Because they've done it. Because another thing that's come out today, UEFA want to know by the 25th of May what's happening, right? So if France are not competing this year, are not going to finish the season off, then that'll allow Italy and Spain, let's say, to say, well, they've already decided, and we're going to follow them. And UEFA are just going to have to deal with that, because that means that Paris Saint-Germain won't be able to play in the Champions League. That's supposed to be getting finished this season, if you think. Because how can they? How can they have that gap? But then, more importantly for next season, if France just say, now, the top four, or we'll go with whatever the points per game is, that system UEFA wants. So we're going to implement that. Holland have already implemented something. Belgium have already implemented something. If Italy and Spain decide, well, UEFA will have to back down then, won't they, really? If enough league, and this is what I'm saying about almost like the Arteta situation was, if enough people decide that they're going to make the decisions on behalf of UEFA haven't got anywhere to go. Because I think that the argument so far has been, UEFA have been like, no, we want the Champions League, we want the Champions League next season, so we want these leagues to be finished so we have got a proper Champions League next season. Whereas now the leagues, if France could be, if that's the first one, they're saying, well, our top four is our top four, and they're going in the Champions League next season. Holland are saying, well, the teams that qualified last season will be in this season. Belgium has said our top two or whatever it is will be in the Champions League. Italy and Spain might follow.
What do you think's the right thing to do with that? If it's not finished?
I think personally, I think for the Europa and the Champions League places, it's points per game.
Okay.
Now that's different from who the champion is. Like Liverpool, if we didn't in this country right now, Liverpool would be our top team in next year's Champions League. Doesn't mean they're the champions.
They'll get an asterisk, won't they?
Big asterisk.
Asterisk
FC. That's fine.
No, but they get something, which is because they deserve to get something, because they're gonna.
Nice plate.
But that's all they're concerned about. UEFA is the Champions League places. They're not bothered about
organisation.
Premier League and other European leagues have been given till May 25th by UEFA to provide plans to restart their season. Well, France quite clearly aren't doing that now, are they? European football and governing body has issued guidelines to all 55 associations after an agreement last week that qualification for next year's Champions League and Europa League must be decided on sporting merit from this season. And we've seen this, haven't we? And we spoke about this when we did it, I think, on Friday. The only difference in this country with the placings at the top end of the table is that Sheffield United go back above Wolves. So Sheffield United will qualify for the group stages automatically. Wolves will have to go into qualification.
Well, if the FA Cup isn't played, which I doubt it can be played, then Wolves will get that place. So it sorts itself. The only difference is Wolves would have to go qualifiers, but I can't see how you can have qualifiers. How could you have that many qualifiers for the Europa? Think about it.
Then Wolves can't get any.
I know that's what I'm saying. Imagine how many. Isn't that mad? Like all those. Think about how many qualifying games you have.
So would they say then that only the automatic places go in it? That's mad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's so much like. Oh, it's an absolute minefield, isn't it? And that UEFA would be better. UEFA would be better saying we're bringing in that new third competition next season. I know they probably can't, but that's what they should do.
Well, on top of that, we've got a FIFA medical committee chairman, Michael Dehoux, saying he doesn't believe football should return until September the 1st. Some leagues, including Germany's Bundesliga, could be back in action as early as May, which is essentially a week on Saturday, is what the date they've said, which is May 9th. I mean, the thing with Germany is, and why they used the comparison with the UK, Germany's got 83 million population, 6,000 deaths. UK, 68 million, 20,000 deaths. Yeah. Some leagues, including Germany's Bundesliga, will be back. The games will be behind closed doors. Project Restart will see the Premier League behind closed doors in June. France have obviously, they've abandoned their season following on a similar decision from the Netherlands. But the WHO's opinion is that it's too early to consider players coming into contact with one another, at least while social distancing regulations are in place. And even that, significant levels of testing for the coronavirus might not be enough. The world is not ready for competitive football. I hope this can change very quickly, and I sincerely hope that today you need more patience, he told Brian Swanson of Sky. This is the most dramatic situation we've ever lived in since the Second World War. We should not underestimate it. We should be realistic. Football can only be possible if contact is possible again. Football remains a contact sport, and avoiding contact is one of the first things everyone says that you should do, is to avoid contact. It's all about social distancing. Testing is important, but you have to repeat them. One of the players becomes positive, you have to put the whole group back into quarantine. Is that a solution for normal competition? It's not a money, it's a matter of life or death. You also cannot ask players to play football in masks, which is one of the things. I mean, one of the things I don't understand, and it just might just be me, is that if these players are tested and they're negative, how are they going to become positive?
I don't know, but what if one of them is positive, right? And you have to, and then you, let's just say for one player is ill, comes out after the game, he's ill, right? Every single person on that pitch,
and who've been in within.
So that means that that's two teams. So that means that those two teams' fixtures would all be thrown out the window for 2 weeks. And I know that's what your point is absolutely valid, of saying if you're getting tested, but what if one just slipped through the net?
Well, I suppose what someone would say to me with that question is, well, that's fine if those two sets of players are living in quarantine anyway. Yeah? Yeah, but if those players are allowed to return home,
no,
then we can't guarantee.
But I'm talking about just for forget about the spread. I'm talking about for the game of footy.
No, but what I'm saying to you is if I test Everton on a Saturday morning, right? Yeah. I don't know how quick you can do these tests, by the way, how quick you can get the result. But just for the basic of it, I test Everton Saturday morning, you test Liverpool Saturday morning. We put the test together, everyone's negative, so that game can go ahead. Yeah? And that's how the games are. Then a player shouldn't really be able to test positive because they're all negative. But then if they're going home to the families, then maybe... That's how they'll...
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact of if someone tests positive, then all their games are going to have to be called off.
No, I know that.
But just think, so in terms of just a sporting element, then that's just going to absolutely... It's what I think that this fella obviously knows a lot more than we do.
Yeah, of course.
But what I'm saying is this fella's looking at... If he's looking at it from a football point of view, going, well, we start a competition and then you might have to stop after like a couple of weeks. And then what's the knock-on effect? You keep going for another couple of weeks, and then.
So do you think that's why they talked about the football village, then? Because you can't get if you're negative.
But this fella obviously knows more than we do, so he obviously knows the testing mightn't be to the point where.
Or is he thinking, my point of them going back to the families?
No, I know, but I'm not talking about families. I'm talking about a game of football, as in fixtures,
I know, but I'm saying, you're missing what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. You're talking about spreading it outside.
No, I'm talking about someone spreading it to them, to bring back into the game. That's my point. If you've got 20...
I don't think...
As far as I'm aware, 30 odd...
You honestly think footballers are going to live in a football village for 2 months?
What I'm saying to you is do you think that's what people's concerns are with these players getting in? Because as far as I'm aware, If me and you are both test negative and we live in here, we're not just going to develop coronavirus.
No, I know that. But
so if this was a hotel and it had Everton, just use Everton and Liverpool in it, and we're all negative, then that game can be played because no one's going to give it to anyone, are they? Because you can't get it from nothing. You have to get it from someone who's infected.
This sounds stupid, right? What if there's a game getting played at a stadium and someone sneezes outside and they've got it and the wind blows it inside? Like, that sounds stupid, but what if that's the way they think?
Can that cause you to be infected by it, though? We don't know, do we? That's
what if someone's outside and they sneeze just as some fella who's going inside? Do you know what I mean? Like I know that sounds stupid, but there's always. It's not these places.
Are we ever going to be free of that, though?
When I suppose what he's saying is September is when they're supposed to possibly have a.
Yeah, but even if there's a vaccine, we'd still be able to spread it, won't it?
Yeah,
so
but if
we
there's
might
a vaccine,
never get to that, maybe.
No, but if there's a vaccine, it becomes a treatable disease, doesn't it? At the moment, it's not a treatable disease. You can.
I'm not saying they should play it, by the way. I'm just saying.
If you get coronavirus, it's in the hands of your own body. There's no medical treatment. No. They put you on a ventilator to help you breathe.
Well, just help you breathe.
And they give you
which
things.
Helps you breathe your lungs.
But you're on your own. You're on your own. So it should.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these people like him, he doesn't give a monkeys about
no,
he doesn't care about who finishes where.
Yeah, of course.
He cares. His job is
just
medically to look after people.
Whether they're fit or not.
Whether it be like a head injury or whatever. His job is to give the best science advice to UEFA, and he's obviously come out.
Well, he's FIFA, isn't he? So he's obviously quite. So therefore, you wonder how much weight his opinion carries. And if his opinion carries a lot of weight, then surely people need to look at that and go, well, we can't really go against that medical advice. There'll be other...
They will, though, because there's always other science.
Well, there'll be other medics who come out and go, well, if we're testing these players 3 times a week and they're clear every time, then they're able to play football. So how can they can't get it? Because you can't get it unless you're infected, someone's infected, comes into contact with you. Then, to me, the only way this could actually even be a thing at the moment is an Olympic-type village. But I don't know where that exists, how that exists. And that's the problem, isn't it? But I know that football clubs...
Oh, they all want it back.
They want it back. The players want it back. The clubs want it back because of the money.
Well, as you mentioned there, May 25th is when UEFA have set the deadline for them to get their plans.
Well, there's a Premier League meeting this Friday on the Zoom, right? We've not really heard much out of these meetings of what's been discussed. Maybe
Friday we'll know.
We might know a little bit more whether that appetite is there still. Obviously, France might have thrown a massive spanner in the works by doing this today. I was just trying to see if there was anything from Spain, but nothing from Spain at the moment.
Spain are in a complete lockdown. I don't even think it's entering their minds.
But it would have to, like any business, it would probably enter the Ligue as well.
But doesn't that come down to what, as I said earlier, how people perceive it? And in places like Spain and Italy, I think they're perceiving it a lot worse than what we and clearly America perceive it. We almost look at it like it's an inconvenience in this country, right? Some people, not all of us, some of us obviously understand it's very serious, but I think some people just see it as an inconvenience, and that's the sort of stuff that's coming out of America now. Like for the people who want to get back to work, it's almost like it's an inconvenience. It's not like a deadly illness that could kill a lot of people or has killed a lot of people. It's just seen as an inconvenience. Where in places like Spain and Italy, they're seeing it as like a genuine thing that could, and they have their countries that have a lot of probably older populations as well, and maybe have like different way of life where older people live with younger people and that kind of thing.
And that's how it can spread. Yeah.
So they're looking at it. I know Kevin Ratcliffe's living in Spain. He said that absolutely it is a complete lockdown, and it still is. They've just come out with saying next week you can go for some exercise. Whereas here, You know, you have to turn on the news and it's like...
They let kids out the other day for the first time in Spain.
Exactly. So they not even... So I don't even think the idea of going back to football has entered their consciences yet, because Italy are loosening up, but you can go out, but you can't leave your region.
Okay.
So little things like that is going to start happening. So we're all perceiving it very different, and I think in this country...
Do you think they should just come out and scrap it till August, September?
I think they should do whatever is in the best interest for everybody's health. Not take chances or go, well, this might happen or it might not happen. I don't know what that is, because, as I said, I think in this country we're almost being told. I know you're being bombarded with stuff, but I still see when I see things of like, oh, Greggs are opening up this week. It's like, what? It's like thousands are dying.
But no,
what I mean by that, sorry, just to quantify that is, like in other countries, you're getting told a plan, step by step. This is going to open, and then this is going to open. Where in this country, it's like, oh, Greggs are opening. Aren't we in a lockdown? And then the government go, there's no mixed messages. Well, how can there not be mixed messages when you're telling us all that there's still a lockdown, and yet some places are starting to open up again? Well, the only reason they shut is because it was sort of recommended. They weren't told to shut. And that's what I'm saying. You know, you said to me yesterday, being past that chippy down the road, it's always open.
It's open.
It's always a queue out. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like here, it's like...
Well, Scotland, the first UK country today, they've come out to say that potentially you should wear a mask now when you're going food shopping, because it's an enclosed space. Not when you're outside and it's in the open spaces, of course, but in enclosed spaces, maybe you should be wearing a mask. Maybe that's for some businesses, maybe that's the way forward if people are going to shop in the likes of Greggs. You know.
For me, I think the government should be saying, no, wouldn't it be great if football come back? I think what they should be saying is, if we get to this point...
To be fair, it can only come back when these 5 things have met. That's one of the things they've said.
What are the 5 things? I don't know what
there's 3 of them have been met, but essentially it's debts dropping and new cases. They're 2 of the 5, okay?
Okay, but
the rate of infection is, I've said this, it's less than 1 per person.
But that's what it is, though. They're like first wave things. Other countries are looking at this as not as a second wave, and they're saying if like football comes back, then all these other things will mean that that will help the second wave. And I think that's we're looking at it as almost like, let's get back to normal.
If there's a second wave.
But there will be a second wave, because once people get back together, people will get ill, and it will never be as big as the first one, but people will get ill. And I think what that guy from FIFA is saying is, if there's no footy, then September we can start again and we can go. I think that's what France is saying as well. Why are we like?
See, for me, right, and this might be really simplistic, and you might go, that's berserk or stupid or whatever, right? But just in my thing, why aren't we just saying, listen, lockdowns till June? No, nothing again, because isn't it surely if the longer we have lockdown, haven't we got a better chance of not eradicating
just getting rid of it, yeah?
But almost, New Zealand are opening next week. New Zealand have said they've eradicated
because they went into lockdown before they even had cases.
So have we.
Like we're throwing the dice.
You read a lot more than me. I tend to just blanket it now because I you know what I'm like, the news anyway. It's grim. But surely if we're all on lockdown for a longer period, we're not going to get new cases, because if we're staying away from each other, there's less chance. Yeah.
No, so I know what you're saying.
So why don't they can't they do that? Can't they just come out and go, you're on lockdown till June the 15th, end of, because we want to keep all you people, we want to keep you alive.
I think they could do that. The problem is that people, the people, like we've said loads of times, will almost just get bored. But football is just, I just feel like it's doing its own.
But it is a separate entity.
No, I know. What I mean is that.
But it is.
And I've said this before, in other countries, France being the first one, has just said, we're done.
Enough's enough.
It's not, like they're basically saying, why is this even a conversation?
Should the government then, without this, is not going to go political, should the government just make the decision for them then? Should the government just come out and go, we followed health guidelines?
I think they
No,
should.
but should
I think they should.
Because that's what's happened in
I think
Spain,
they should, but
in
they
France.
won't. They won't, because the simple fact is they're terrified. They're terrified. It's why they let Cheltenham go ahead. It's why they were prepared to let the Premier League go ahead. It's why they let the Five Nations go ahead. They are absolutely terrified of the people who run those organisations. The whole country is, and this isn't political, because this would work at probably who was ever in government, look at it and go, these people put all this money in, and then, whereas in France, which is a country that has a much more important, like, trade unions, we know what France is like.
Yeah.
If the people decide on something, the country shuts down. Whereas this country, we are dictated to by large companies.
Right, let me say this then, let me ask you this, without being commanding a petition.
Yeah.
If there was a petition, excuse me, an online petition, should Premier League football return, and I don't know, 1 million people at least signed it, do you think that would have any sway with the government?
I'm not 100% down for people voting in certain things.
No, I know, but what I mean, I'm just saying.
I've seen the effects.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying something like that, because if there's a large public swell for it not, if there's a large public appetite for it not to return.
What if there was what if someone said to you, how many people do you think would sign a petition if the most gorgeous cake in the world, but there was a 1 in 10 chance that the cake could kill you? How many people do you think would still eat that cake? Do you know what I mean? It's like people, there's obviously people who don't want to listen. We've said this, we did a video earlier about Moise Keane. Some people just think like this thing's never going to happen to them, or don't understand the contact thing of it, of like, well, I mightn't get it, but I might pass it on to something else. We've eradicated that by having a lockdown. And I'm not saying football should or shouldn't come back. What I'm saying is that someone needs to make a decision that actually understands. Not football clubs who just want football back. Of course, it's self-interest. It's money. They're losing money. I fully understand that. But does that mean so many shops can open up, or do you know what I mean?
Well, apparently it does, yeah.
But obviously Greg's is opening, so that's good for people.
So
listen, I don't know. I just think that
I think that today might be an important day, though. Decision.
I do think for other countries, I don't think it'll be for this country. I think the Premier League will come back. I think it'll be back in June. I don't think they'll care, because the simple fact is, if no one is telling them to shut down, then they'll be like, well, it's like in the first place. Nobody told them to shut down till Arteta got sick. They weren't going to shut down, because the government never give a decision, because it won't. It's like it won't until some. And I think what would happen with the Premier League, it would almost be like one player gets sick and then they go, right, you're done.
It's just bizarre.
No, it is, isn't it? But in France, they're just saying, no.
Well, they're just eradicating it, aren't they? One thing's for sure, won't be a fan in the stadium till 2021.
I don't think so.
I can't see it.
I can't. There you go. Lots to unpack there. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think the government in France have made the right decision, or do you think that it's a bit of a knee-jerk? Do you expect the Premier League to come back here? Every day something seems to be changing.
Should the Premier League listen to the public on whether there's an appetite for it? Or should the government listen to the public rather than the Premier League?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it'll come back, because I think, like you said before, the more eyes on it, they might see it as the better.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to check out all our other videos as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. And if you want more videos, exclusive videos, longer videos, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. See you later.